What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Blerdimension Road to Halo Infinite. Today, we're going to talk about our impressions of E3 and the Halo Infinite multiplayer reveal. We're going to dive deep into that and talk about some of the things we like, some of the things we are concerned about, notably the movement. Them taking all of the cool stuff from Halo 5 out, which is a shame, but we'll dig into that. I'm not Cirque. We have JK Beasternal.
What up, y'all? Back for week two, three. I don't know what week it is, but we back again. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. We have JD Creates Activity.
What's up, family? How's everybody doing?
We got AJ Naslinja.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
We got Carl KBH.
What's up, guys?
I'm not sure if Suave is gonna join us tonight. I think he's still dealing with some house issues, so hoping that that gets resolved for him. I know how much of a headache that shit is, especially this time of the year. So yeah, big shout out to Suave. Hope everything is getting resolved. So yeah, let's jump into to Halo Infinite. What is everyone's initial reactions to the multiplayer reveal? What's how do you think it looks? Does it look good? Does it look like it played good? What are some of your thoughts so far?
I liked how it looked. It looked juicy to me. It's giving me Reach vibes. Uh, I am somewhat concerned about the overshield, how that's gonna look. Hopefully, they're still working on that. But like how things, the graphics fidelity, how things was moving, I was pretty pleased with that.
So when you say overshield, what you mean, like the look of the Spartan itself when he's in overshield, or?
Yeah, like it just looked like it was just a flat color instead of like a shimmering force field. It just seemed like it was just one
Mm,
solid flat color, which looked a little weird to me.
mm.
They're saying the
Uh,
look of it looking like it's an overshield. It looks like a regular shield on top of another shield, so to
but there
speak.
was no shimmer, right? Like that it
Right.
was, yeah, that's the thing. It was just kind of solid, which made it look like a cutout.
Yeah.
Mm.
So hopefully that's not the final thing, but that was my only like
We'll see.
one gripe. Besides no Spartan charge and
Yeah,
that stuff.
we'll definitely dig into that. AJ, what do you think so far of the look of Halo Infinite? How do you like that compared to how Halo 5 looks?
I'm remembering. Okay, so I'm remembering the trailer, and there was a guy sliding at the beginning, so there's definitely sprint in here. Because that was a real legitimate fear for me. But I was like, okay, how else can you slide without the sprint? Like to add the sliding back in and remove the sprint would be crazy. So I'm assuming there's sprint in there, which was huge for me. But in terms of the look, um, it doesn't look anything like Halo 5. Like Halo 5, there's more was kind of a lighter, I guess, uh, color
There's more
palette they were
color.
going with. Yeah, yeah. Halo
It
5
was
was brighter,
it
in my
seemed
opinion.
seemed like it was more emphasis on the Covenant and Forerunner designs.
Right, right.
So like even with the animations of the guns, like the Forerunner guns, how it just like kind of morphs into, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it seems like Halo 5, like they really tried to blast out with the colors,
Yeah,
which
it was a brighter game. It's almost like luminescent the way that the armor
yeah,
looked. Like it was almost
yeah.
like it was glowing from the inside. I mean, obviously that's just like a design choice to kind of like make the armor pop in these environments, but you don't really see that in the Halo Infinite trailer. You don't really see that color thing. It might be like what Carl's saying about the overshield. There might still be more rendering they have to do, and that was still just like a rough cut kind of situation where they're like, "Hey, this is what we have finished of the game so far. This is good enough to show a demo of the multiplayer, and that there's gonna be more of a because they're doing a lot of color, like a lot of I'm sorry, not color. They're doing a lot of armor stuff this
Like
year, where it's like
customizations and stuff.
yeah, customization of your
Yeah, I
armor.
thought the customizations were tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's yeah, right. So I can't imagine that they're gonna get rid of color. That all the armor's all gonna be one like one hue or whatever, one on one set and one value scale, right? They got to add some kind of like variation to it in terms to kind of give you that individuality that everybody's looking for with the customization. But the colors were a little bit. They did remind me Halo 3 and Reach. They reminded me of those two. Those were a little bit darker in terms of like the color palette to me than the original Halo, which was kind of just the best you could do at that time for color. I don't think it had anything to do with choice. I think that was just as good as it got.
Yeah.
And then, 2, it was still pretty bright. And then you go 3 and Reach were dark. 4 got a little. I think 4 was a little brighter than Reach, and then 5 was like you brought all that back together, or you brought that to its like fruition. I guess to its like highest point of color and brightness, and with all of this Spartan abilities, those needed to be bright and demonstrative. So I think that's why 5 was like that, and I think they're going back to some OG Halo, trying to get some OG Halo vibes. So they probably try to grab the look and feel from an older game.
Absolutely. It looks a little ashy to me.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's just the fact that it was like a demo of like not the fully fleshed out game.
Yeah.
It's probably just the alpha. They were showing the alpha, really,
That's what I'm hoping.
or showing the test gameplay that they had or whatever.
Yeah. We getting an echo from you, JK.
I don't know how.
Okay, so JD, what are some things initially that interest you with the infinite reveal?
I'd say overall the gameplay definitely looked very smooth. I'm interested in the training academy, even though I've been playing Halo since I was in diapers. I'm kind of glad they added, things like that to bring on new players. Again, the customization, fantastic. The guns, the armor, even the AI assistant, which is pretty dope. Glad the battle pass is never going to expire. Kind of that like original OG Halo vibe for sure. All in all, I mean, I enjoyed it. The gameplay looked smooth. The weapons looked great. Didn't see any, ground pounding, which I'm definitely gonna miss, but not really. So, all good.
And JK, what are some of your initial thoughts on the reveal?
I mean, I like what I saw. I just to me, I run hands-on approach. So like, seeing it is great. But I just want to get a chance to actually play it so I can get a taste of it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody, like for instance, like seeing how the gadgets work. So like, if it is gonna be for the grapple hook, like one person gets it, only one class gets it, or whatever, or is it gonna be something that you pick up, or something that everybody gets, but it's like a cooldown time or whatever. So,
I hope it's standard with everything.
I think it is gonna be a standard because
Standard Spartan ability.
yeah,
I think so.
and because I know for Battlefield, sounds like they were doing each like
It's
a
a
specialist
class.
has, like a specialist has that certain grapple hook.
Yeah, probably
They
like
do
the assault
specialist
class.
crap. I feel like that's where I need to exit stage left. I can't even imagine not playing Halo. But if they get into that specialist crap, I'm probably done with that. Not with that.
They're getting the specialist. I think it's gonna be what would be tight is that just like you customize your armor, but you customize your class, so they give you a whole bunch of different abilities and stuff you can use, but you can customize them.
And that's
So like you
exactly when I
customize.
stopped playing Halo. They do that crap. I'm not with
The-
it.
So you mean like the
I
customization is as deep as something like COD, where you can?
changed
If
everything
if
about your gun.
customization changes the gameplay, I'm not with it. Like I'm out.
So
I'm
not
not playing.
customization where like you can do like specializations, but like certain gear.
I don't think that
Yeah,
that's what happened though. They
like
specifically. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kristen.
no, I was just gonna say like so I'm trying to understand. So you're saying like if because because Reach and 4, had classes and loadouts.
That
Is
was
that
just loadouts though. Like
so? You saying
loadouts,
like
I could hang with loadouts a little bit. I didn't love that either, to be honest with you, but I could kind of deal with loadouts. But if we're talking about, oh, you've unlocked something and now you have an
oh
ability going forward forever, and
yeah
uh, I'm in matchmaking, haven't played for a couple months. I'm getting mollywop because you got these unlocked things. I'm not with any of that.
Now I'm talking about more of everybody start like every Spartan has certain abilities or whatever that they start out with,
And you get to pick which ones.
and you get to just pick and choose which one. So you can't like for instance you can't have two grapple hooks, but you can have like a grapple hook and
Yeah, that's
like
that's more like a loadout thing, and I'm okay with that. I don't love that. Um, that's also like what
for not.
Fall does and all that. Like I get it. Uh, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I could still get with that. But if if anything changes the gameplay longer than that game, I'm not playing Halo anymore. I'm
So
just gonna go back to previous Halo games.
I'm
hey, join
pretty
me on
sure.
Master Chief Collection.
That's what I'd be playing. I really would. Like, yeah, I'm not doing it. But
There's
I don't think that's the way they're going. So for
no. They
Nah,
they specifically said that they were trying to go back to the original way to play Halo, and that would be the exact opposite of what they said. And they're also saying they wanted the game make the games more fair, right? Which I
yeah,
I don't I don't know what made 5 less fair because everybody could do the same stuff. So it wasn't, but they're like saying that they wanted to make the games more fair, which is why I don't think everyone gets the grappling hook. I don't think everyone gets the little shield that reflects, you know, plasma stuff or plasma weapons. I don't think everybody gets that stuff. I think it's all similar to the overshield. I think you
you
pick it
just pick
up.
it up. Yeah,
Right, because if you look at the trailer or whatever, you never saw multiple grappling hooks. You never saw multiple people doing it. You never saw grappling hook fights, right? Like
mm,
if that was a part of the game, you would see it. You would see two people grappling hook and one person like killing the other person, like maybe jumping from their grappling hook and meleeing the person to death and then grappling hook back to safety. Like you would see cool stuff like that if it was possible in the game. You saw one person get a grappling hook and use it to murder other people. And that happens a lot with like, hey, I got
you
the
already know that's going to be a playlist, right? Where everybody gets a breath.
oh,
oh
absolutely.
yeah,
Yes, yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah. But I think it's gonna be one. I think it's like the gravity hammer. I think it's like, a couple of those other things. I think like you find it. It's like, oh, you picked up the grappling hook. Okay, so now you can use the grappling hook in combat. Somebody kills you, they get your grappling hook. Like I think it's gonna be like Reach. Like there were things in Reach, you picked it up, you had it, right? Somebody killed you, they could pick it up. But it wasn't like everybody had it on the map and then whatever. I just think too many grappling hooks in the game would change Halo, would change the gameplay. If everybody's grappling hooking all over the place, like it
Yeah.
wouldn't it wouldn't be Halo.
Or Apex.
I mean, or
I'm
at
not
least it
gonna
wouldn't
lie,
be.
I wouldn't mind
I'm not saying it would be bad. I'm just saying this is the exact opposite of what they've
what
been
they're going
saying.
for. Yeah,
Yeah, like all of the language is this is going to be more like Halo. Like this is going to be
it's
more
gonna be
like
like
what you guys.
3.
Right. Like we're looking at this and I don't know we're looking at this. It doesn't look like Halo 5, right? It doesn't look like there are any elements of 5 in this game other than the armors are going to look similar to 5 because they're going to give you so many options. But um it doesn't look like Halo 5 which was like the Spartan abilities and movement stuff like that. Like all those cool things seem to be out. So why would they then add another thing that's un-Halo or OG Halo
Yeah,
to so where everybody's grappling hook? Now one person using a power weapon or some kind of armor enhancement that's on the board that people have to fight to get to.
Mm-hmm.
That's Halo, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, the gravity hammer is in the center of that one place, and even if you spawn closest to it, the name of the game is killing everybody with it and keeping it. The longer, if you're good enough to keep it, then yeah, you earned it. But if somebody kills you, then now they got the gravity hammer. So that's what I
Yeah.
think it is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think a lot of those power ups will be pickups.
Mhm.
Like, you know, it'll just be in line with like I'm surprised they didn't show invisibility.
They talked about it in that extra thing they released on the Halo channel. They
Oh,
talked
okay.
about Yeah, they said you're gonna pick it up. They said, and you can activate it whenever you want. You don't have to.
Oh, I like that.
So you don't
I
have to
like
turn
that.
on. You don't like
You have to
immediately
use
turn
it
on after you
immediately.
come home.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now you can just
You can
activate
bank
it.
it. You can bank it for
Yeah, it's
later.
kind of
I
like the
like that.
like
I
I
like
said, it's the
that.
reach stuff, like the little reach things where you would press X and then you could use like the little reach items,
Yeah.
which were separate from grenades and your guns and everything like that. I think it's gonna be like that, where it's like, oh, now I'm
That was Halo
activating.
3, like with the bubble shield and stuff.
Well, not just the bubble shield. Reach had that little drain thing where you threw it out and it drained all the shield. I don't
That
know.
Oh no, that
was
was
3.
3. Yeah,
Oh, that was
that was a
three.
power drainer. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so three,
Yeah.
but still, everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? Those like
Mm-hmm.
those weapons that you could
The
use. They were just like little enhancements to battle, but they really,
yeah,
they
equipment.
didn't. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be.
Yeah,
It
it looks a lot like it looks like a it definitely looks like they're going back to kind of like Halo 3 with like a sprinkle of Halo 2. Uh it it looks like it's interesting. Like it's a good it's a interesting mix between like 2, 3 and Reach, I think.
Did they show dual wielding?
they didn't.
Nah, I think dual wielding is dead.
Nobody really wanted dual wielding in any of the Halos anyway, because it just doesn't work. If it helps people win, then well, I mean, you'd probably still hear 50-50 complaining, 50-50 loving it,
Yeah.
but it was pretty much
It
useless.
probably felt cool, but it wasn't that effective.
Yeah,
Nah, yeah,
exactly.
exactly, yeah.
You knew nobody was new to Halo if they were dual wielding, unless they had
Yeah.
somehow mastered the ability of like dual wielding a certain weapon. Because you'll see some people who have like dual wielding needles works because needles work by themselves. So you dual wield them, it's just twice as fast.
Ugh.
But if you don't have two needles in your hands, like there's no other weapon I can imagine that like dual
Well,
wielding makes it better.
if you had two other
Two
weapons,
Maulers.
you had to be, yes,
Yeah, two
that
models will work.
worked very freaking well.
Yeah, because it's like holding two
So it's
shotguns.
basically a shotgun.
But like if you had two other guns, you had to have the self control to only shoot one at a time. Because what it did was pretty much allowed you to have a really long clip.
Yeah,
Because I think
I used to like I just shoot them at the same time, like because it's like it's like if I hit them, I'm hitting them, you know,
twice.
double the
Yeah,
yeah, but
damage.
you're locked. Always
you're
locked.
accurate. Yeah, you're accurate enough to do that. Like to be like, nah. For me, I would just be missing with two guns, like the guys in the movies that get killed, like the which just crazy, like ah!
Like two
Yeah.
pistols is actually pretty underrated. I think you could do some damage with two
It
pistols.
sounds like that, like it because like how well just one pistol works, right? Especially in certain ranges. But for me, an extra trigger to click just destroyed my ability to do anything for some reason. It's like, hey, I'm barely staying afloat with this one trigger over here. They want to add another trigger to my movement.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm curious to see is how you can grapple guns and weapons.
It looked pretty dope because they're pulling snipers from off ledges and
Storage from dead bodies.
yeah, and I think they pulled the gravity hammer from like yeah, you murder somebody and then you pull the gravity hammer to you from the dead body afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the grappling hook is probably the biggest draw. Honestly, though, I
There
don't.
was no gravity. There was no physics associated with um, weapons before, right? So this is the first time there's actual physics.
Nah, you could do that.
Throw a bomb.
You could do that in 5. You can throw a plasma and you can
Yeah.
blow up. You can
Throw a power
not
weapon towards yourself.
yeah, and you get that little metal combat evolved. So that's like that's a
never
Halo
grew up.
5 thing.
metal, so I don't
Yeah.
know about that.
Yeah. So I think with like when I look back at like 4 and 5, I think they 4 less so because I think we kind of me personally did the whole like tradition of play through the story, you co-op and do this and do that, and and then you jump into multiplayer. 5, I just jumped into multiplayer, did like a little bit of single player, and that was pretty much it. Are we at a point where do we care about the campaign anymore?
I don't.
I do. I like the story.
I don't.
There are certain individuals who will be happy to know that it's an all Master Chief affair. There's no Spartan lock ruining their single player, which I never got because like a Spartan is a Spartan. Like you're not either of these people, by the way. Like you're not either one of them. You're not Locke. You're not Master Chief. But for some reason, the existence of Locke ruined their fun in the campaign, which to me is funny because the worst campaign was absolutely 4 by far, not even close.
Yeah,
But
that last battle was
so
it's so underwhelming. It's like this dude is so powerful. Like you could have did so much stuff with that, and he could have just killed Master Chief and like just squeezed him to death and
or removed the
armor,
organic material between his armor and let it leak out of his armor. Like he didn't have to engage in actual combat, let alone just pretty much just posture and let you shoot him for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
like that's pretty much what happened. He teleport here, you shoot him. Like it wasn't really. Yeah, it was not a good campaign.
Yeah,
I don't even remember it. That's how bad 4 was. Like all the other ones, they have like a big moment where you're like, yeah, remember in the first Halo, you're driving the Warthog for like 5 miles.
Oh, at the end.
Yeah.
And trying to get off the
right.
And then 2, I don't really remember 2, to be honest.
That's the one where you fight 3 is the one where you fight the super brute guy.
Oh yeah.
It was where you fight the little infected joints too.
Oh, the Flood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Flood.
They're infecting Covenant and Spartans.
Yeah, the Flood was in 1 through 3, and then Reach didn't have the Flood, and 4 and 5 didn't. 4 and 5 was all about the Forerunners,
right?
And not the it was the Prometheans. My bad, not the Forerunners.
But the 5 was really about Cortana though. It wasn't really about. It was about AIs and how they're supposed to retire themselves and all that other good jazz.
Yeah.
But I mean I haven't finished 5's campaign, but it's just because I used to play the campaign on as a co-op with my brother, and that was really like the only reason I ever finished the campaign is because we would play it together. And then once split screen went away, it was like I just lost zeal for the campaign in general. So,
do we know if that's back?
I don't.
They've said like previous to this E3 stuff, like they've said that split screen is going to be in Infinite, like no matter what. Mm-hmm. So,
but they showed it.
Will it be there at launch?
I think if it released last year, it probably wouldn't have. I think a lot of features wouldn't have been there last year if they released it at that point in time.
Like facial expressions wouldn't have been there.
You said what?
Like facial expressions that wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, it'd have been like, I mean, it'd been kind of like Halo 5 when that shit released. Like it was super bare bones. Just a glorified esports product. But yeah, no, I think 5, it just broke way too many rules, broke too many traditions with the whole Halo experience. You're supposed to, the first playthrough of Halo, supposed to do a co-op split screen with, family member or a good friend, and they just completely went away from that, and just not having split screen in the game in general was just like a big no. But they're I think with Halo 4, I always remember like playing on those Forge maps and playing split screen, and how bad like the frame rate just tanked on them janks. And so I can kind of see where I can see where they're coming from when they were saying that like it wouldn't have been a good experience, but that's still
together, though.
yeah, there's still that's still no excuse, which is why I think they took a while for Infinite, is because they wanted to, redo the tech, and they basically, I want to say they probably did like 2 or 3 iterations of the game, in terms of like the engine itself, so they have no excuses anymore. Now we got the horsepower, we got double the horsepower now. I wonder what the feature.
It has to run on Xbox One though.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like, I wonder what the split is going to be between the generations. Like, is Xbox One only going to have like one split screen? Is like Series that you can do 4, or like what's the by the way? With that, that's going to be interesting to see.
It's an appeal to get an Xbox Series X, basically.
Or play it in the cloud.
To go to next gen.
Yeah, or play it in the because what they're trying to they're saying like, yo, keep your Xbox Ones because you can just start using those as streaming boxes now, which is it's pretty cool to see how many people take to that. But
if that works well, then yeah, I could just move this into the office instead of getting an S. That works well.
Yeah. So yeah, I think all of us, I think we're kind of past that whole Halo story experience, and I think this one is going to be a little bit different because supposedly it's supposed to be open world.
Yeah.
So it's never gonna end.
Yeah, exactly.
Halo Infinite. Like,
yeah.
Really, dude. They're like, you're gonna spend the rest of your life with Master Chief. He's never gonna die.
Absolutely.
Have like special missions or whatever you can do.
He's not supposed to.
Missions.
Yeah, he's not supposed to die.
Do y'all remember in Halo 4 there was that game mode? It was called.
Pretty sure I don't know it.
It was basically it was kind of the same concept, but they released like different episodes.
Warzone.
No, it wasn't Warzone.
Oh, but I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
And you're not Master Chief. You're just a regular Spartan and like a Spartan team. And you gotta like clear this map. It was like the precursor to Warzone.
Oh, it's called Spartan Ops.
Yeah.
So it was like an episodic. It was kind of like a evolution of Firefight, where they put a story behind it.
Right.
You basically, it's a co-op experience. You just.
That's when that Spartan, I can't remember her name, but the one that kind of gives you your missions in 5. That's where she showed up.
Is that like Spec Ops from Call of Duty?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yep.
She wasn't really in the story in 4. I don't remember her much. I mean, I think she might have been in it, but like that was where you really got to like hear her voice and find out, oh, she's actually in charge of like all the Spartans, pretty much. Like.
Oh, you're talking about Halsey?
She's short with the red hair and the blue armor.
Oh, she's in. Oh, got you.
She's in 5. If you ever played a campaign, she's the one who's giving Spartan Locke all his orders. Her and I forget the guy's name. The one
Can he let a black man give orders?
Nah. Well, I mean, he gives orders to the 3 people he's with. He's in charge of 3 people, but she's like the basically like. If there's generals for Spartans, that's what she is. Like, she's the highest ranking Spartan. Besides, and I don't even think Master Chief outranks her. Who knows what Master Chief's ranking is? Like,
that man he's on his own island.
Hell and back.
I mean, he
Got
does
a
what he
whole
wants.
civilization
He's
that calls
rogue.
him a demon.
He does what he wants, which is the crazy thing, right? Like he's still respected by the military, but he goes AWOL in like every season. He's like, nah, I'm gonna do it this way. And like, but he gets results done, so it's like
Yeah, you can't
somehow
argue with
he's
that.
somehow he's still allowed to be in the military when he should have been court-martialed at least 3 times
It's
right
like we
now.
gotta go get this nigga.
First off, when this man is called a demon by a whole nother civilization, your ass is in a different tier.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Because
But
they saw the Spartans, they said, "Oh, they're the Spartans are here." They saw this motherfucker. They said the demon is here, and I was like, I was like, okay. So they called this man a demon. It's like dooming this bitch. That's what they
Yep,
said.
the Doom Slayer.
so, but yeah, that's where she showed up. That's where she really you heard her voice, or at least that's what I remember her from. Is those things. I did a few of them. I don't know if I ever finished all of them, but I did do a few of those.
Yeah.
But you're
So
just a random Spartan in that. You're not Master Chief.
yeah, and so that I think that's gonna be the full this whole open world shit is just gonna be the full realization of all of those things they've tried before with Firefight and with Spartan Ops and also with Warzone.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what how it goes down, but I think we're all just we're here for the multiplayer
Yeah,
when it
I don't
comes
know
down
if
to
I'll
it.
even
I'm
put
ready
up
for
the
the story.
campaign,
I want to put the story too.
and that is
I like a good story.
we can
I
definitely
remember
stream
when I
that.
was trying to be a good sport and just, let me try out all of these play modes. Like when, you know, I had Halo 3 and I had ODST. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying Firefight. Why not? It's here. Let me try out all these modes. Let's see what they're about. Never doing that again.
Jump right into multiplayer.
Yeah,
Come
it's
back
just
to the
multiplayer.
campaign.
Yeah, and I'm not getting very diverse in the multiplayer either. Like if they had a big team battle that was Slayer, which they used to, I would play that. But
You
they
know what
don't.
has that?
Don't they
Master
do that?
Chief Collection.
Wait a minute, they don't have a big team battle the Slayer?
Nah,
No,
not in
it
5.
rotates.
Yeah,
It
it
rotates.
What are we? Oh, okay, I get it. You're saying that it does do
I
Slayer,
don't
but it
want
also
any
does.
risk of
he
any garbage. It's not worth it.
doesn't want to risk doing any objectives. I get it. I get it. Right.
And
Okay, so
and
that's the problem.
and 9 times out of 10, it is an objective. So I'm not interested.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
don't blame you
because
on that.
I saw the when you were saying like big team battle, I was like, that's you can do Slayer big team battle. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that like that because we don't do it much anymore like we used to. So I just didn't even think about the fact that most of the time it's objective, not
That's
Slayer.
top of mind. That's
Of
absolute
course.
top of mind. If there's an objective involved, I don't want any parts of it.
I don't blame you. I'm not a big fan of like I would say less so with the newer Halos that I can tolerate the objectives, but especially like the old giants, like playing capture the flag is like torture. Because they increase the spawn time, which is another thing I don't like
And then they
about
make it
fucking
iron
5.
too.
Huh?
And they make it iron too. So like you can't score if your flag's away.
Yeah. Yep.
It takes forever.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of capture the flag. I do like oddball because it's just fucking chaos. I
And
like
that's the
strongholds.
objective that I like.
Yeah. I like
Or I want
strongholds.
I don't know what oddball. I don't know how
the
that
skull.
objective even works.
Play
Yeah, you
ball.
have the skull, but it's like if you have the skull, you just have to hold it. That's right.
Yeah.
You're
Basically.
trying to get it to a certain time
And
before.
it's
Yeah.
chaos.
There's that it looks like oddball is gonna have that. You saw that objective looking like the guy was holding the skull and then
He
he
just
threw it at the
smacked
guy
it.
and he like disintegrated or something like that.
Yeah, he's just like so. Usually, when you had a ball, your like your melee is just ridiculous. You could just one shot people. So I think they just bringing that back where you could just. I don't think
Okay.
I don't know in 5 if it's a one shot melee, but
I don't think it was.
yeah.
Yeah. Do y'all remember Juggernaut?
Oh yeah.
Was it like
Yes.
when last time they did it? Like that was a objective.
We
I
we
could
were
do
playing that. We were playing at we did a Master Chief Collection night. And we did Juggernaut, we did VIP, Ninja Knot, which is basically the motherfucker is just invisible and like fast, and so you just you just gotta keep your head on a swivel. Yeah.
You usually have a sword, and the guy's just
Yep.
running a knife in.
Absolutely.
My sympathizer, we used to do like we took the Juggernaut rules and we like doubled or tripled everything, so that the person who was Juggernaut was pretty much invincible, and we would do it that way. And it just became a horror movie. It really was like just people running and screaming.
Whoever gets it first usually wins.
Yeah, it wins by
Yeah.
easy because it's just like you can shoot them with 3 rockets and they're still coming. So it's like,
Absolutely. So I think we briefly talked about it, but if you could, like, just on your initial viewing of Halo Infinite in action, particularly the multiplayer, which games do you think they take the most inspiration from in terms of the Halo games, the other Halo games in the franchise? I think personally, it's 2, 3, and Reach. They seem to be kind of harkening back to, because I think that's where most people think that's when Halo was at its peak.
right.
And then you just throw in like some of the modern stables of first-person shooters like sprinting, sliding, grapple hook. But I think 2, 3, and Reach. What do you all think?
Yeah, I think the animation of the Spartans is from Reach. I think like how people die reminds me more of Halo 3, and then they literally just redid a map from Halo 2 and put it in there. So I still don't remember the name of it, but the one with all the storefronts, a glass storefront, and it has like a second level balcony type thing.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah, so in the multiplayer reveal they showed that map. So that's a Halo 2 map.
Which one is Valhalla from?
3.
Valhalla 3.
Okay, so I think I saw some Valhalla-ish looking.
They're always gonna have that, right? So
is there a Valhalla in 5?
they probably have something
Some variant of it, yeah.
It's not in there. What you call it?
There's
like,
one in 4 though. I know for sure there's one in 4.
Not in there. What you call it? Play the when you play multiplayer online.
You gotta play Big Team Battle for that.
Yeah, I fucking hate. I hate 4v4 on Valhalla. That shit is the worst.
It's too big.
It's way too big for that shit. And people play so lame on that shit.
Just hide and snipe.
Just hide, get the fucking sniper and laser. Yep.
In the middle of the stage.
So
it's terrible.
Combat Evolved, it was what, Blood Gulch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big stage.
And then in Halo 2, it was called what? Because there's a version of it, Halo 2.
Battle Creek or something like that.
Oh, Battle Creek is the small one.
Yeah.
Battle Creek
Coagulation, I think.
Ooh,
Coagulation.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
So that Halo 2 map that you were talking about with the storefronts is Turf. It's called
Turf, yes. Yeah, so that one's gonna be in this one, kind of redid. But it looks very, very similar to what they had in Halo 2.
The BR definitely looks straight out of Halo 2.
I hate that BR so much.
I love it.
I hate it. It's like shooting a laser. It wasn't a BR at all. It's a laser.
It's hit scan. It's a hit
scan. Yeah,
just
exactly. I hate that so much. It doesn't feel real in my hands. And
what's your favorite BR?
I think I really like the When was the was it 4 with the bloom was like huge?
Reach.
Reach. Okay.
Reach was the
Um.
only one that had bloom. They abandoned that after that because people were
I think
just whining.
I think I loved that one, and I think maybe it was because it was hard for anyone to be accurate with it, so I had just as good of a chance of killing you as you had to kill me. And that's the DMR though that I'm talking about. But I think I don't know. I like the guns, all the guns on 5. Like the guns all feel good to me on 5. All the Spartan guns anyway.
Yeah.
I think those all feel great. I like the DMR on that game. I like all the guns on that game. Um, I think the Halo 2 BR gets on my nerves the most because like you said, it's hit scan. It feels hit scan. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't. It just feels like point and click, which then to me kind of gets rid of the cool like the you don't realize how much the animations affect the way you play until you start playing with something that's animations are completely different, and you're like, oh, this feels weird. Now it's way more effective because it doesn't move when you shoot it than the other BRs. But I would hope that that's not what they do in this newer one because just it doesn't look realistic. It looks like you're walking, like I said, it looks like you're walking around with a laser ray, like a laser gun. It's not a actual gun shooting. There's no recoil. There's none of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and then and then the other weapons look like they're more from like a mix between Reach and 5. So like they had like a basically like a saw. They had
Yeah, I saw
that
that. I saw that.
which looks straight out of 5. The assault rifle looks like a good mix between Reach and 5. Um, they had this one. It looked like a railgun type joint. It shot like it was like a triple beam. Like you could and it bounced off the wall. That looked like it was from 5.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that stuff still like I think they took some of that from 5, but they're really trying to capture the whole vibe of Halo at his peak.
Hey man, you got to get those whiners back in on it. Because if you don't,
It's
they'll
ridiculous.
poison the well, man. They'll tell everybody Halo sucks now, and then you won't get any new gamers because the OGs are trashing it.
Ruining it. Yep.
Yeah, I mean
Um.
that's why Master Chief Collection survived, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's
But I think, but also I think that it really it brought back folks uh that were probably it brought back folks that just kind of just abandoned Halo in general, and they transferred over to PC and did a lot of PC gaming, and I think that it being on PC really kind of built up the player base and the interest in the franchise again, and the fact that like Infinite is going to be on basically 3 platforms now, I think is really cool. So so yeah.
or you're not you never have an issue with like going against PC.
Nah,
For
I don't really notice the difference. Some games I can, like when we were playing like that indie game Splitgate.
Oh yeah,
I was playing
boy,
I was playing some PC players and yeah, it
there was definitely difference.
um
Call
so
of Duty, you can definitely tell. It's ridiculous to me.
yeah, you could definitely tell. But I don't know. I think that I think Halo as a game is always been just designed for controller, and
Mm-hmm.
um I feel like if they give you enough assists for you to kind of even out the playing field when you're facing like mouse and keyboard players. So I'm not too worried about it, but we'll see. We'll see. I actually like to see how folks use mouse and keyboard on Halo 5 if they ever port it over and put it in Master Chief Collection.
They can't. The
Um,
whiners have spoken. It's the worst Halo game ever. Why is they've spoken? Let's
Yeah, it's
just
ridiculous.
forget this chapter in Halo, even though it was just as good as the multiplayer. I think is the best it's ever been in 5, but you won't get that opinion from people who are like uh hardcore Halo fans, and I don't understand why people have to be hardcore or anything like that. Like you gotta let things breathe a little bit, man. They can't
Yeah,
stay the
they're
same forever.
the gatekeepers of Halo.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no. Speaking of like Halo 5, and what we really like about it, I think we all agree that like Halo 5, the Halo 5 movement and the Spartan abilities is probably like the best uh feature of Halo 5. And it seems like Infinite kept sprinting and sliding, but no Spartan charge, no ground pound, no thrust. I think
Couldn't even let us keep thrust.
exactly right. Like
Thrust is it's nothing. Like it's nothing. You could be like, all right, no more ground pound. It's kind of I get it. It's kind of cartoony for Halo, right?
it was so
Um,
tight though. Like I feel like it. I don't think it was. They didn't do it in a. It was. I didn't think they did it in a corny manner. Um, I feel like it fit. Like I felt like a Spartan. Like I've always imagined a Spartan will be able to do all of these things. I'm a
I
super
didn't.
super soldier.
Yeah, I didn't like it when I first saw it. Like I was like, wow, that's a little.
That's
But
different.
like, yeah, like I was like, that doesn't that was a little off-putting at first. But once you start playing and you're like, man, I'm bursting around here. Spartan Charge is like one of the most gratifying feelings on the planet. Is like it. I feel the impact. I don't know if any of y'all feel the impact, but I feel like I rammed into somebody when I hit somebody with a Spartan Charge, and uh,
Absolutely.
immediately I'm like I don't know. It's like a release of endorphins, as if I actually did it myself. Like it's just yeah, I just knocked that guy out, and it feels great. It feels like chucking somebody in the football game,
Yep.
or getting a nice pick on somebody in basketball, or whatever, whichever sport. Choose your sport. Whenever there's that physical play where you dominate somebody, right? Like it just felt great. It felt like but they decided that no, too much fun. It's too much fun. You can't have
Yeah.
too much fun in Halo. It has to be a certain level of seriousness and boringness that comes with Halo, I guess. So they had to
Absolutely.
get rid of the thrust, get rid of the ground pound, and get rid of the smart charge. Like I said, like those were great additions to the game. Like you said, super soldiers. What are the like? Why do we have to become regular soldiers in armor again? That's pretty much what they did.
Yeah.
They're like you're no longer super soldiers anymore. Now you're regular human beings. Like can't
I
jump
depend
higher.
on thrust, man.
Say what?
I depend on thrusting.
Yeah, because that's and no displaying you like that's a huge thing. Carl lets you get real close to him, and then he's like to the left of you or to the right of you, and then he's already 3 shots in before you turn around. Like it's a useful maneuver if you can time it and stuff like that. Like it it, it was a skill based thing. It didn't make the game easier for some people and harder for others. And you didn't have to use it, right? It
It just
didn't make
added a
it.
different layer to it, a layer to the whole Halo formula. I feel like it didn't. It added a different strategy now, just like how when Reach implemented the bloom effect, like that changed like moment to moment combat. So now you actually have to like pace your shots
Yeah,
and
you
make
conserve your
sure,
shots.
yeah, make sure you're is emphasize being more accurate. And people didn't like that, and then it had sprint, and people were mad about that, and then 4 came around and was like, okay, well, we're just gonna fucking make it Call of Duty Halo style.
Mm-hmm.
um and people didn't like that, and then 5 was like, okay, we'll take it back to basics, but we'll give everybody these abilities, the ground pound, Spartan charge, the thrust.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's starting on an even playing ground. Everybody has these tools and no loadouts. And it's like, no, this is not we don't like this, and it's just like so.
What is Halo? What is Halo? I would like to know what makes a good Halo game.
What gives them the ability to dominate,
That's
basically.
what people like. Halo 3. If you
Do
update
they?
graphics on 3, I think everybody be in love.
I don't like 3. I don't care for any of the older Halo games. They all seem like old games to me. Like I don't.
They
I
are
don't like
games.
it feels different. Like I'm not having as much fun on 3. When we play Master Chief Collection, I'm in pain the whole time. The only thing I like is when we play 1 because the grenades explode like rocket launchers or whatever.
Yes.
So it's just I toss grenades across, and you can pick up like 4 at a time, or you can pick up more than that. I think like 6 grenades or whatever. Like your grenade limit is higher in Combat Evolved. So you're throwing all these grenades, and the entire room is just exploding the whole time.
Chaos.
And so yeah, it's just chaos, right? So I like 1 for that, like Combat Evolved, but I don't care about 2, 3. I think I like Reach a little bit, but that's really just because that Reach was the first time you could like pick up. I think Reach was the one where you could like first like you could pick up like the flamethrower or the mini rocket pod and stuff like that was just sitting around the level.
I got tired in Reach. I was getting tired all the time. Trying to run.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So
tired already?
But
yeah,
I just don't get it. What's Halo?
What is Halo? That's a good question. I always think about that too. I'm like, what is it that Halo 5 didn't like? When I think of Halo, when I think of Halo, I'm one of the big Halo 3 fans. I think probably 3 and Reach are probably my favorite. And so when I think of those games, in my mind, I'm just like, okay, those are, up here. But what is it about those games that I really like? And what is it about 5 that didn't necessarily like? I love playing 5. It's still fun. It still feels like a Halo game. But like, what does that even mean? And I think for me, it's all about like that gunplay. The gunplay is not focused on, aiming down sights. It's focused on, is the whole moment to moment action is you trying to throw off the other player as you're shooting. Yeah, like so strafing, shooting from the hip, using your grenades creatively. So I think all of that kind of is like the foundation, and then in terms of the sauce, the Halo sauce, it's like the colors, the settings, so like some of the maps, the announcer, it's serious but also not serious at the same time. I feel like 4 and 5 were a little too serious. Yes. I think even Reach is serious as the undertone of the tragedy of that story.
It's a tragic story. That's what I'm gonna say. Reach is leaning into like these guys all died.
Yeah.
One cat they got to get away.
But somehow it was still a little lighthearted in a way. It was still whimsical. Like you still ran into those grunts. They still were in an elites. All of that was still there, but it was a serious thing. And then they had the fun little armor effects where when you get killed, you get the birthday cheers. Like, ah.
I used to hate people who had that. I used to hate it. Who did this?
So I think Halo it doesn't take it based on the original trilogy and Reach. I think it doesn't take itself too serious. And it's just all about like the settings and the colors and the yeah, and that's kind of what I think of when I think of Halo. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think that speaks to the developers. So they felt, especially coming around Reach, right? I felt like I feel like Bungie felt some type of way that they just knew that Microsoft was going to take it over and go into this other direction. And they felt a sense of ownership of Halo. They felt like they could be themselves, right? 343, they come in, they know people are already looking at them sideways. And they're like, okay, let's do what Halo is. And it's like studying for the SAT. Like you're not coming from a place of comfort or security, like you know it. You're studying for it. Like let's pour over all this Halo lore and look at all this stuff and try to put lightning back in a bottle, and you know. So if that's why I'm kind of hopeful with the creative director who used to be with Bungie. Maybe they could, like you were talking about, that whimsicalness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he could engender some of that again and be like, this is what Halo is, but not just this is what Halo is. Like, this is yours. Express yourself. It's 2021. It's not 2005 again when Halo 2 was just dropping, right? You know, um so I feel like that part of it is a lot from the developers and them feeling comfortable in the story they're telling, and they make it feel like it's their story. Uh, so yeah, hopefully, hopefully they achieve that.
Yeah, and I think with five, it's such a broy ass game. Like everything, even like even the intros, I think it's as cool as I think it is. Like even when the Spartans are like just walking up, it's just like so. It's so broy. It's so like that's a, oh man, I'm about to pawn you, dude. Look at my Spartan. You know,
I
uh,
I forgot that wasn't even a part of Halo though. Like the posing at the
That's
beginning and
on.
in the
and
fights. Like I
and
forgot that wasn't a thing.
yeah, and it was like, and I think like I think it's cool. I think it's a cool touch, but it was also just very broy.
Hmm.
So stuff like that, I think. Um,
We just started introducing that, right? Because like
Yeah.
Destiny had the same thing. Um, what else? Call of Duty, they had that initially with Advanced Warfare and stuff.
Well,
Apex, not really.
and
yeah,
you
But
Apex
the
will do
realize,
that
end,
little like
they do the
intro.
end. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I think they do it though. I think most games do it when you can buy skins for your character, because how
Yeah.
many other times are you gonna actually get to appreciate it for yourself? Like everyone else is seeing your skins, but how many times do you get to see the actual armor that you're wearing?
It's true because it's
In
first
your own?
person. That's true.
Right.
yeah,
So you don't actually get to see what your Spartan looks like until you either win or lose, or until you're entering into the game. So those are the only two times you actually literally putting a mirror up to yourself as a Spartan and saying that that's the armor I chose or whatever. Like, because you're choosing all this armor and then you don't get to see it. I don't think that's going away, and you see it in other games. We play Knockout City. You see your characters in Knockout City
yeah,
because
What's on them?
a lot of people are buying these, buying a cool jacket. I better see my character in that jacket. I mean, it's third person, so you get to see it the whole time. But you really are not trying to focus on your character's jacket or clothing while you're dodging dodgeballs. You right now you're trying to beat the opponent, but at the end you get to like actually, you know, like look at him like I do look cool. Like a lot of people are paying for that stuff. You got to be able to see it. Same thing.
yeah,
I mean, your cars pose, don't they? Cars pose in Rocket League. Your cars
yeah,
pose
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
that's
end of
true.
the at the end of a Rocket League match. You pay for that car probably, or you earned points, or however you get new cars in Rocket League. I've been driving the same thing, but
You see your car though the entire time. But
yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
but you're not looking at it though. You're looking at the ball. Like, yeah, you sure your car's there, but the ball and the car are getting equal attention because you're kind of trying to line it up and use your car to hit the ball. So you automatically don't get to appreciate what your vehicle looks like until you win or lose a match. Actually, when you win, because I think Rocket League only shows the winning team, right? Or does it show both? It only shows the winning team.
Yeah, only the winning team.
Right. So then you get to appreciate your car. So I think
Yeah.
that's not going anywhere. The posing is more about, I think, more about buying digital assets than it is about uh Halo being. I mean, I get what you mean by broy, but I don't think that it was like a bunch of video game bros got into Halo and were like, dude, wouldn't it be cool if we all posed at the beginning and
Well,
then like
if I remember those sprints, the documentary that they used to do leading up to Halo 5.
mhm.
And all those motherfuckers that were in there were like all ex like MLG players and shit. And
Whoa.
so that's why Halo 5 is such an esports darling, because it was designed to be that, and that was like the big thing at that time was
I thought they were gonna be able to spin off of ESPN based on Halo games.
yeah. So yeah, I just hope that they kind of like maintain that lighthearted nature of previous Halos and kind of morph that into a more modern approach. Yeah. Um. So yeah. Going over some of the features for Halo Infinite. Some notable features is, of course, we were talking about this before, which is crossplay between different Xbox generations and then also PC. So I think that's really cool, and it will definitely allow for a wide variety of people to get into Halo, especially now that it's free to play. So they're really casting a wide net on that, and folks don't have an excuse not to play Halo anymore. So whether you're on PC, Xbox, and if you don't want to spend money on a Series X, you can grab a Xbox One, or even like play streaming.
Yeah. Since
Uh,
xCloud is available to all Ultimate players now, people now.
yeah, exactly. I wonder what the jump is going to be, but for Game Pass subscribers, like leading up to Halo Infinite's release.
What
I
do you
bet
mean?
that, like, I wonder if a lot of people will like get Game Pass leading up to Infinite's release.
Well, I think Outriders was a good,
Yes. Or
even though I mean it's not still people playing whatever, but they said that Outriders going on Game Pass helped significantly with the sale with its fan or with its game base.
was it like 21 million people now
Yeah.
on Game
Like
Pass?
yeah, it's a bunch of people. They said so. I think from seeing that, they're starting to see, hey, maybe we should start putting. That's why a lot of games are day one on Game Pass now
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because they saw that hey, people are going to be getting Game Pass because one is going to be they're going to be basically paying for the game with their subscription, so to speak.
To me, it depends on that multiplayer because there's no need to get Game Pass for Halo if you only care
oh, that's
about
right.
multiplayer.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think
So
about that.
the fact that they didn't show any campaign gameplay leads me to believe campaign is in a very shabby state. And if you're all about the campaign, I'd be very concerned about that. Um, so, and if that bears out and people are like dragging the campaign, it's not really going to do anything for Game Pass because people could already play the multiplayer without it. So,
True, very true.
So it's going to be like Call of Duty where multiplayer and game
mhm.
campaign is going to be separate, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that game is
Never
so.
mind then.
I hope that they just make them two different games. Don't even make me have to download like some shell of. I hope Halo multiplayer is its own game, and Halo campaign is its own game, and you just download both if you want them downloaded. Because the crazy thing about the Call of Duty thing is like you're downloading like the shell, and then you download like the individual packages to kind of like run each part of the game. So it's like you have the whole game, but you can't play the whole game without downloading everything. If you download everything, you pretty much can't have any other games on your system. So
Yeah,
I just don't want
300
that with
gigs.
Halo to where I have to like download 60,000 updates and packages in order to play like the full multiplayer experience. Like Call of Duty does that too, where like you don't download a multiplayer pack and now you can't play multiplayer. And unless you're keeping up with like when the new packs are coming out, you might be like try to jump on and play with your friends, and now you gotta wait till 20 gigs is downloaded before you can play. Um, it's a little frustrating in
But
that
it's
and that matter like that
that's
fact.
still better than what they were doing back in Halo 2 days, though. Halo 2 days, like, yeah, you could jump on
Well, you need the map
until
pack.
you're in matchmaking and they happen to pick the map that you don't have, and now the
Oh
entire
yeah.
part.
That is one beautiful thing about now. A lot of multiplayer games now is that they never charge you for map packs anymore because it did exactly that it split the community.
Yeah.
So they give away the maps, but they make up for it with cosmetics and
Yeah.
microtransactions in that sense.
Yep.
So
And that's the stuff that people are gonna freaking it's they're gonna that's the stuff they're gonna buy anyway. Like Fortnite is making a killing off of people just buying, just deciding they want their character to look a little bit different from everybody else's. The individuality thing is pretty much part of humanity. Like you can take the just go ahead and make some money off of that. Like the fact that
absolutely,
if I could put a blue
Cyberbully for
stripe,
that shit.
just put a blue stripe on my Spartan, it would feel like nobody else could. I'd be like, I'm the only Spartan with a blue stripe on right now. Like
hmm
the map pack thing
All
is
about flexing when it
crazy.
comes to. It's all about flexing on somebody.
Well, I mean, it's just individuality. Everybody's trying to be just a little bit different from everybody else. That's
absolutely.
pretty normal in life. But uh, to like charge for the big stuff, I think what a lot of companies are realizing is that you can microtransact somebody to death. It's like death by a thousand cuts. Like just small things. Like I be watching y'all on Rocket League with y'all cool cars, and I'm still driving the hoopties and the what you call it, the Yugos or whatever I'm driving.
It's Marvel too, man. I know what you're talking about.
So it's like I haven't purchased a car yet, but I've been thinking about it because I'll see people driving nice cars, and I'll be like, I drive a nice digital car, and it's
Keep up with the Joneses, man. Stay in your lane, bro.
hey man, I don't know. Every time I watch y'all drive a nice car, I get closer to going ahead and hitting that button.
Hmm.
So
And then be the facts. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'll take the $700 car payment. I don't really care anymore.
Deck is a perfect example of that.
God damn.
Wait a minute, you about to scoop that plaid? Is that what I'm hearing? It sounds like
I
some
wish.
plaid.
if they had it on Rocket League, I'd scoop it.
Oh man, they better not mess around and do that.
They had it on Rocket League, I would definitely be driving a Tesla.
So, okay, so we got crossplay, we got it's basically gonna be on all of the Xbox platforms and PC. We were talking about before the grappling hook. It looks slow to me. Like I want it to be like the grappling hook from Titanfall.
Maybe your perspective as the grappling hooker is slow, but everybody else's perspective as you grappling hooking away is faster, so they can't just shoot you out of the air. So like maybe it's just looks slow, like because you have such a wide field of view, you don't actually see how fast you're traveling. But for everybody else, or not a wide field of view, a narrow field of view, because you can really only see like in your little cone, but everybody else who can see you from a distance sees you like zip away, right? So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that affects it. I'm hoping so because it does look very slow. It looks like you're
It's
just
like
putting yourself in a position to
it's
get.
like it's like the Batman grappling. It's like,
Well,
and it's
yeah,
just
well, the one from the movie, not from the cartoon, because in the cartoon he was zipping
It's
all over the place
fast.
like Spider-Man. But yes, the Michael Keaton film in the 1989 Michael Keaton film, yes, that was the slowest grappling hook. Like, why wouldn't they just jump on him while he's grappling hooking away and choke him with his
beat
little
his
grappling
ass.
hook? Yeah.
So
They
I
were so
think that's
amazed by the
also a
gadgets.
tech problem. Like, I think that's the main reason 4 and 5 was so colorful, was because of their tech was trash. They had to do that to keep so they could get the frame rate up to 60. Um,
You mean
so
the 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 grappling hook being slow,
no,
or
so yeah, so I think the grappling hook might be slow. So like you got to do certain things so you don't drop frames, right? Like everything else, you could do all this other stuff and you keep a solid 60. But maybe that one little feature you add, and all of a sudden you're consistently dropping frames here and there, and then it like messes up the experience. Like I think that's what happened in 5 when they made stuff so colorful, because it wasn't just colorful, like the textures weren't as detailed. And I think they did that so they could consistently hit 60 frames, which they did.
yeah, and then
Like
they did dynamic resolution too. So
exactly.
like if you look at if you ever look at the animation of a Spartan from like from far away, like it looks weird as shit. Like it's like it is. You could tell that it's like, you know, at a
The
certain
pop
like
in is ridiculous too. Like even when you're like they pose before the start, like there's all kinds of pop
yeah,
ups
especially on
that
those
aren't
forge
done.
maps,
Yes.
especially on them giants. Um, but yeah, now that is true because that was the whole thing with Halo 5 was that dynamic resolution, um, and them being able to maintain that solid 60, especially running on a VCR Xbox One, not even the S or the X, but the VCR joint. I'm still mad I got that special edition Halo 5
Did you get the blue
VCR.
one? Oh,
That shit is like a paperweight. I'm like, God damn it. And I was like I was so excited. Like this was like the first Halo game that I can really like splurge on. I actually got the funds. I could, and I got the whole shebang. I got the special edition console, got the special edition controller, got a little statue and this and that. And like a couple years later, like that particular model Xbox One is just obsolete. And it was like fucking shit. So yeah, that don't buy a special edition console because that shit is going to be obsolete very fast. Um, so other than the grapple hook, we have, let's see. So we have some movement abilities. So we, like we were saying before, the sprint and the slide are still there. Um, even that looks a little slow, but I'll let that slide. Um, some of the armor abilities, like we were saying before, with them being able to deflect that plasma shot. The well, it was something else. But definitely want to see more about like how they implement the armor abilities. If that's like a pickup or that's part of a loadout or whatever. Definitely want to see that. Um, that fucking samurai armor looked cool as shit.
absolutely.
Let's see.
But
Definitely want that.
if you earn it, if you
You
have to earn it, I'm not gonna have it for a very long time. By the time I get it, everybody else is gonna be wearing some other type of armor.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that. And what was it? There was no notable armors designs in 5. Everything kind of
Look the same.
yeah, like there was variations, but there was nothing that stood out. Like when 3, I can remember the recon armor, and then
Like
uh,
me skull armor or
the
whatever.
the one where you had like the sword on your
Oh yeah,
back
yeah,
too.
yeah,
That one, and with Reach was the flaming skull.
yeah, yeah. Like
That that
skull.
was that was really cool. But like 4 and 5, there was nothing really that stood out.
Mm-mm.
I guess that can also kind of go into the whole Halo experience, like what defines that. Um, Anything else that stood out for feature wise with Infinite when looking at the fucking training bots. Um, that's fucking huge. I think that's gonna be really cool.
Can't
Sp-
see. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that to me is like one of the most compelling things that they could have possibly done. Because I always wondered why that wasn't a part of more shooters.
Yeah,
Um, like if you've ever played, well, you have when you start off Apex, right? You get to
that
like,
fire range.
yeah, you get that. I was like, they need this in every shooter. Every
Yeah,
shooter needs fire. Like sometimes I just want to like sharpen like my reflexes to know exactly what a Spartan is capable of in the game. Uh, just to see. Like maybe the Spartan movement stuff is still in there. Like maybe it is, and they just like didn't play it up because they know that the Halo whiners hate that. Like they hate anything that looks like 5. But I want to see exactly like give me the controls. Give me what it looks like. What's this? What's X do? What's A do? What's Y do? What's B do? I want to know
bumper
the bumpers do. Yeah.
jumper.
No, I don't ever want to have to use bumper jumper. That's why I bought an Elite controller. I got paddles now, so I don't need to do bumper
I'm gonna
jumper.
convert one of y'all.
I don't know why I'm so resistant to it. It doesn't but I am. I don't want to do it. I think it's really because like then I'm admitting that it's the better way to play, and I just refuse. I refuse to admit it. I'm on my Vegeta right now. I can't do it the way Kakarot does it. I got to do it my own way. Like,
Hey, join, man. It makes life so much easier.
it makes perfect sense, right? Like you never have to remove your thumb from the stick so you can aim while jumping. Like that one fraction of a second between pressing the A button and then moving your thumb to the stick or vice versa is crucial in a game where like, accuracy is huge and timing is huge. So it makes sense, but I just refuse to do it. That's why I made my paddles my uh jump and stick maneuvers. Like even my crouch is a paddle right now. So it's like
Oh,
I don't
really?
have to.
Wow.
Yeah, because pressing the stick in is not reliable to me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Mhm.
So it's like I don't. I just feel like I don't strike the whatever the little button in there is. I guess I don't do it right because like sometimes I'm trying to crouch and he'll just be standing there. I'm like crouch crouch crouch. It's too late. Or run. I'll try to run away and he'll just move forward. Or like a lot. I missed a lot of Spartan charges just because like the run never started. Like the animation never happened. And so I just throw a melee in midair. It's over now.
You will alleviate all of that by choosing bumper jumper.
I just can't. I can't choose your way. Your way might be the right way. I gotta do it my way. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good doing it your way. Feels like giving up somehow. I don't know why.
That's understandable.
Hey. Um so anything else we want to see before release, before we're completely sold? I know we're all sold, but like something that we can get even more excited about.
I would like to see more than just the 3 types of um like armor like add-ons, like more than the grappling hook, more than the little reflector shield, which I think I will have no use for, unless it reflects all ammunition for like a certain period of time. Like if it just reflects plasma weapons and plasma grenades, that would be fun when we're playing swords and pretty much that's all Carl does is throw plasmas. That would be nice to just send one right back at him.
AJ,
But
calm down. I don't
that
know
would
why
be
we firing shots.
no. I mean, when Carl's just throwing plasmas the whole time, like just spamming plasmas, I would love to
Never.
send one back to him. But uh, other than that, I'm never gonna use a reflector shield. That's
Get
like
your
the worst.
sticky like you deserve. How dare you?
No. I honestly think that I would love to like dish that back out to you. But other than that, like when am I gonna use that little reflector shield? How many who uses the plasma guns? Like who uses the other one, the plasma guns?
Jerks, because they're
People
highly effective.
yeah, they are if you're accurate and quick. You can't just hit somebody with a plasma pistol and then immediately you still have to shoot them with the other gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
but
and
it
the
doesn't
plasma
take that long to switch.
no, but the plasma pistol is hard to hit people with. So it's like you have to make that like it's like that's something that you have to have practice that maneuver of hitting plasma and then switching gun. Because for me, by the time
Yeah,
I'm like
you
yes,
fire before they see you. That's the trick. You have to fire before
yes,
they see you,
yes,
and then
right,
by
right,
the
right,
time they realize they're hit, it's with the
yes.
BR, and there you're
So
done.
that's really far away, right? So it's such a if it was easy to do, everybody would do that. Like it would be the way to play Halo. It would be
I
that's just the
wouldn't.
way.
It's just not satisfying because I used to do that to see what the thing was. I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
I no,
Yeah.
I've
It feels
I've
like cheating.
Yeah,
I've
even the
shot somebody with
game.
a. Oh, go ahead.
I was just like, even the game is like, it shames you. Like, oh yeah, noob combo.
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll start doing that to kind of even stuff up. But the point is that I want to see like if there are other types of armor. There's got to be something else. Something. I mean, grappling hook is not cool to me at all. It looks cool like some of the stuff they're doing, but it doesn't excite me. I mean, it's Halo. That's what excites me, and the grappling hook is just another thing. But it's just the newer Halo. But I am a little deflated by the missing Spartan abilities, right? So I need to see something. Give me something to replace, to replace the thing I lost, which is that cool movement. That's what I
Yeah.
lost. So give me something to replace that, and that's what I'm hoping to see is like different armors and to see the full spectrum of movement of the Spartan.
Cool. And then finally, I mean, when should this thing release? Usually Halo releases in November, October time frame, but I know that Forza Horizon is coming out in November, I believe. And then I think what they're waiting on is trying to wait to see when Call of Duty is coming out. I think that's what they're really trying to. And we already know when Battlefield's coming out, and I think that's in October.
Yep, October 22nd or 12th, one or two.
So but the big thing with the big selling point with Halo Infinite multiplayer at least is that it's free. So you're technically not necessarily competing with anybody. I mean, you're competing with them in terms of their time, but there's no barrier to entry for Infinite. So, but I still think that they're waiting on Call of Duty to see when the next one is coming out because they and I don't even really think if Call of Duty goes back to because it's rumored that they're going back to World War II, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And if that's the case, then they're not necessarily competing with them
Direct
because
competition, right?
yeah,
That's more of a niche kind of like who really likes that aesthetic a lot.
yeah. If anything, I mean, we'll see. I kind of have a feeling that it probably won't. Nah, I don't know. I won't say that. I was about to say it probably won't be a new Call of Duty this year because usually by now they have
Have a beta.
yeah, at least revealed that it's coming. At least like show the setting. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they took a year off. I feel like they should have took a year off last year with Modern Warfare. They should have let that shit breathe a lot more. But yeah, I think between like September and November time frame, and I think the last piece to fall that they're just waiting on COD. What do you all think?
Mm, yeah, maybe. I think you talking about Battlefield or Halo.
Halo.
Halo. I think. I mean, I think it's a double edged sword. 'Cause if you wait to see what date it is, and you say, "Hey, we're gonna do on this date," then you may have to rush, get things going in order and stuff like that. Instead of biding your time, bring out a good game and not worried about like what date they come out with, because even if they come out on a date after Battlefield or Call of Duty, people are gonna say, "F that, I'm getting Halo." I played the beta. It looks great. It feels great. So if they just make a great game and not worry about the competition, then they don't have to worry about uh
The
the
release
release date.
dates.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, being free just kind of frees you from a lot of that worry.
exactly. And I think that's the one of the biggest problems with a lot of companies nowadays. They're trying to outbeat the competition. Like, oh well, they come out this date. Need to uh need to release before them, and then they release a shitty ass game, and they go and then they be like, oh well, get them next time.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and
I
I
it's
think
agree.
it's a lot of pressure.
yeah. I mean, I
But
can't imagine what pressure they're going through. So that's why I'm like, you know what, just at the same time, dude, just make a good game. Don't have to worry about it.
I think it's gonna release late, which is why they didn't give a release date. I think it's
do you
gonna
think like
release.
December or something?
I think they're still working on it. I really do. I don't think that it's ready, and that's how I think they. I think December is. I think not mid December, early December, early to close to mid, like December 11th is what I'm thinking
Mm,
is the release date for Halo. I don't know what day of the week that is because I think digital releases are usually on like a Tuesday or something like that. So I don't know,
mm-hmm.
but
I've been seeing
December
a lot
11th.
more like Ratchet. I think released on Friday,
It-
and a lot of
yeah,
Nintendo games released on Friday now too. So it's either like Tuesday or Friday.
So yeah, December 11th is a Saturday. So December 10th or or what would be if the 10th is uh Friday, then that would what make Tuesday the 9th, and not the 9th, the 8th,
Mm-hmm.
right?
if they schedule a time to where it falls on like a holiday weekend, that'd be perfect.
Yeah,
Or
true.
7th. Tuesday would be the whatever 7th. So I think it's either gonna be like the 7th or the 10th of December.
They did I can't remember what game it was, but they released it was like a horror game and released on like Halloween or something. And Halloween fell on a weekend or the
Hmm.
day before Halloween, something like that. I can't remember.
That's a special release though. Like I don't think Halo's gonna get a special release. I think it's gonna be either. I do think it's gonna be late though. I don't think it's gonna be. Uh, I don't think it's gonna be November. Which I mean, they said holiday. That's rarely October. When somebody says holiday, it's usually November, late November, or beginning to mid December. Because I mean, you release it after Christmas, it's still technically holiday because you still got New Year's coming up, so it's still considered the holiday season after Christmas. But that's a very late release for a game because now nobody can even purchase it for the Christmas. Like they've already purchased something else, so you've missed that opportunity to be the thing that someone purchases for someone, or that you missed that phase, the holiday buying phase which is important for marketing, if not purchasing, right? Like if everybody's playing it while they're on their day off, you get a lot of buzz on social media because everybody's playing Halo or talking about Halo or whatever. And if you release it on the 26th or whatever day that is, right, you lose a lot of that attention. So I think it's going to be early December though. Probably the second week of December.
We'll see. Hopefully, hopefully we learn something. We definitely want to. I'm looking forward to the open beta, seeing when that drops. I know everybody signed up for the Halo Insider program, so
Yep.
I did. I forgot.
yeah,
I'll
definitely
do it
do
tonight.
Yeah, I'll do that tonight.
So yeah, I think we can all say that we're super excited for Halo Infinite. I think the showing that they did at E3 it got us excited, got us thinking, got us optimistic about Infinite. I think one thing we can agree on is that we're pretty bummed that they're going away from the movement mechanics of 5. So, but other than that, everything looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm excited. And that will wrap up this video. That's our E3 impressions. Once we get more information on Infinite going forward, if they do another blowout event, showcasing a new feature or whatever, we'll do a video based on that. But in the meantime, check out our Halo streams every Thursday, starting at 9:30 into 1 a.m. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Blerdimension. Make sure you're following us at Twitch. Again, my name is Not Cirque. We have Beasternal, JK.
Peace.
We got Tech, Creativity. We got AJ, Naslinja, and we also have Carl, KBH.
Peace.
And this is another episode of The Road to Halo Infinite. So check y'all out in the next episode. Peace.
Wow.